Good evening, I'm Ces Orenia Drilon.
And I'm Pauline Verzosa.
The big stories tonight. An eventful day in Taal, Batangas. Deep in the lake, new evidence is found on the 7th day of the retrieval operations for missing sabungeros. In just several minutes after that, the volcano, standing as silent witness to the search, actually erupts.
And Tropical Depression Krising has maintained its strength as it slowly moves up north. Heavy rains and flooding are being reported in affected areas, while several LGUs have already canceled classes for tomorrow.
And is there a new tax on bank deposits? The Finance Department is quick to debunk misconceptions on the Capital Markets Efficiency Promotion Act, or CIMEPA, that has social media in an uproar.
May nahanap na tayo human remains ulit, yung tadyang na, yung ribs ng tao nakita.
Exactly a week into the search and retrieval operations for the missing sabungeros at Taal Lake, 4 sacks containing alleged human remains were fished out by PCG divers. In just minutes after that, an eruption happened at Taal Volcano. Its eruption amid exploration is tonight's big story.
A little past 3 p.m. on Thursday, July 17th, thick gray smoke exploded from the crater of Taal Volcano. The emission lasted for 13 minutes. What occurred was a phreato-magmatic eruption, which happens when water and magma mix inside the volcano. According to PHIVOX official Maria Antonia Bornas, this kind of volcanic activity is not out of ordinary. In fact, it has been recurring since 2021. She also emphasized that the direction of plume is southeast, which is opposite the direction of the retrieval and search for the disappeared sabungeros. That said, the operation can continue according to PHIVOX. At this point, only the Taal Volcano Island, which has been declared a permanent danger zone, is off limits. Early Thursday morning, exactly a week since the sabungeros search began, divers and investigators explored a new area in Taal Lake. This is what the Philippine Coast Guard is calling Quadrant 2. For now, the team is done with Quadrant 1, the area which self-proclaimed whistleblower Julie Patidongan claimed was the main dumping ground for killed cockfight enthusiasts. Still part of the search is a remote-operated vehicle, or ROV. And right before Taal's minor eruption, divers emerged from water with 4 white and blue sacks. According to the Justice Department, these contained human ribs.
Sa Taal Lake na human remains, in the area pointed to us by our sources that were also identified by Totoy, by alias Totoy. This time, in the specific area, in the quadrant, kasi ano yan dinivide by quadrant yan yung area. In the specific quadrant pointed out to us as a site where people were being disposed of.
The sacks were immediately brought to PCG's office. From there, this evidence will be turned over to the PNP Forensic Office in Batangas and later to Camp Crame in Quezon City. Before this discovery, 4 sacks have been fished out of Taal Lake. 91 bones have been gathered, with 6 confirmed as human. Meanwhile, the municipal government of Laurel, Batangas distributed relief goods to the fisher folks. The LGU is reporting at least 6 barangays already affected by the week-long search in Taal Lake. These are Barangay Balakilong, Gulod, Buso-Buso, Bugaan East, Berinayan, and Leviste. About 400 to 500 fishermen live in these barangays who can't venture out to the lake because of the operation to locate the sabungeros. Fish sales have also significantly dropped amid already debunked rumors that these marine life feed on human remains. The local government is already thinking of ways to stop economic bleeding.
As of now ay pinag-aaralan po na kung idideklara po ang state of calamity sa lokal na pamahalaan. Nasa pag-aaral pa po ito sapagkat pinapakiramdaman pa rin po natin ang economic status ng ating bayan. Dahil po sa mga sa nagaganap na pagbaba ng sales ng ating mga tilapia at bangus dito sa ating.
For News 5, Ian Suyu, we are One News.
The 3 people exhumed from a cemetery in Laurel, Batangas on Wednesday were not victims of the Duterte drug war. The Justice Department says the remains belong to those connected to Sabong. The victims were earlier brought to funeral homes around Taal Lake, and when no one claimed the bodies, one of whom was a woman, they were buried. The DOJ says these remains could be from reported e-sabong disappearances back in 2020, not included in the list of sabungeros. That's the subject of the ongoing search.
Itong kahapon naman, kasama sa pahayag niya yan na in Lipa, there was a pregnant woman. Parang yun ang nakikita namin na possibility. Kasi pagdudugtungin mo yon, tapos meron pang ibang telltale signs, but I cannot reveal to you now. But there was a telltale sign where he said that that is probably the people who were picked up and killed in Lipa.
Meanwhile, former NCRPO Chief, retired Police Lieutenant General Jonel Estomo wants a public apology from self-proclaimed whistleblower Julie Patidongan alias Totoy. Estomo is threatening to sue Patidongan for saying that he is part of the Alpha Group and is involved in the disappearances of the sabungeros. Patidongan also claimed that Estomo wants him killed. Patidongan has since recanted his statements in an interview and has apologized to Estomo.
Now let's get an update on Taal Volcano's activity after this afternoon's phreatic eruption. And we have with us PHIVOLC's Director, Dr. Teresito Bacolcol. Good evening po, Ka Toto, and welcome to the Big Story.
Good evening din po sa inyo, ma'am.
Ano po ang inaasahan nating aktibidad ng bulkan sa mga susunod na araw?
Well, after the eruption kanina, hindi na po ito nasundan. But again, since the volcano is in alert level 1, we would still expect every now and then phreatic or even phreatomagmatic eruptions. That's the reason why we're telling the people living around Taal Volcano not to venture inside the Taal Volcano Island because that's a permanent danger zone. And like what happened earlier this afternoon, the same phreatomagmatic or even phreatic eruption can happen anytime without warning.
But it will be safe for the PCG divers to continue their operations underwater.
Yes, that's right. Because our recommendation is that no one should go inside the Taal Volcano Island, which is the permanent danger zone, and the Taal Caldera Lake is already beyond the permanent danger zone.
Well, Dr. Bacolcol, PHIVOLC's did say that the direction of the plume is headed towards southeast, meaning it is opposite the direction of the search and retrieval operations of the PCG. So this wouldn't affect kahit yung quality po ng tubig. Tama po ba, Doctor?
No, I don't think so. Kasi po, again, as mentioned earlier, towards the southeast naman yung plume natin. And yung search and retrieval operation is on the northwestern side, which is the opposite side. So I don't think it will affect the water quality.
What about the air quality, Doctor?
If we have sulfur dioxide, it may affect the air quality. But right now, since umuulan, sulfur dioxide can easily be dissolved in rain. So in water, sulfur dioxide can easily be dissolved.
So once again, we don't expect the alert level to go any higher.
Yes, for now, we maintain the alert level 1, and we'll see. But as of now, the alert level stays at 1. We are evaluating all data, and any significant changes will prompt the reassessment of the alert status.
Doctor, I wanted to ask about the possible effects of chemicals from Taal Volcano, such as sulfur, right, into the water of Taal Lake, because they are saying that this could affect the search for the human remains and even the actual evidence, especially since it's been almost 4 years since these sabungeros were reported missing. Magkaka-epekto po ba talaga yon sa mga remains na nasa Taal?
Wala po kasi as I mentioned, yung sulfur dioxide can easily be dissolved sa tubig. So that's the reason why dito sa may Taal Caldera Lake, wala po tayong sulfur dioxide dyan. Ang sulfur dioxide natin is nanggaling po sa main crater lake, not in the Taal Caldera Lake.
So magiging intact pa rin po ang evidence if ever you believe, Doctor?
Well, I would think so kasi yung mga bones naman, matagal po yung ma-decompose.
All right. We thank you for your update with us, Dr. Bacolcol. That was FIVOLC's director, Dr. Bacolcol, talking to us on, well, it appears that the retrieval operations can continue.
Right, moving on to other news, here's an update on tropical depression Krising. Krising has maintained its strength while meandering over the sea east of Aurora. Over the next 24 hours, the tropical depression will move northwest and could make landfall over mainland Cagayan tomorrow evening. Then, Krising is expected to traverse a good part of northern Luzon, turn west until it exits the Philippine area of responsibility by Saturday afternoon. Pag-asa is also not discounting the possibility of this weather disturbance further intensifying up to a typhoon status. As of the latest weather bulletin, signal number 1 is up over Batanes, Cagayan, Babuyan Islands, Isabela, Quirino, the northern portions of Nueva Vizcaya, Aurora, Benguet, and La Union. Also in Abra, Apayao, Kalinga, Mountain Province, and Ifugao, as well as Ilocos Provinces, Polillo Islands, Camarines Norte, the northern portion of Camarines Sur, and Catanduanes. According to Pag-asa, these areas may experience intermittent rains or strong winds of up to 39 to 61 kilometers per hour within the next 36 hours. Local governments have started preparing. In Catanduanes, food packs and free Wi-Fi service are ready. In Cagayan, where the first landfall could happen, municipal governments can now conduct preemptive evacuations. Due to expected heavy rains and winds, classes have already been suspended tomorrow, Friday, July 17, for all levels in Ilocos Norte, Pangasinan, Valderrama, Antique, Calatrava, Negros Occidental, Siquijor, and Zamboanga City. No classes as well in preschool to senior high school over in Batangas City, Talavera, Nueva Ecija, Laguna Province, and Indaet, Camarines Sur. Malacanang assures the national government is on top of the situation.
Nagko-conduct na rin police sila ng pre-disaster risk assessment at nag-activate na rin po yung Virtual Emergency Operations Center noong pa pong July 16, 2025. At patuloy pa rin po ang pagmomonitor at pagbibigay po ng mga advisories sa mga stakeholders, sa ating mga kababayan.
We'll be taking a quick break, but coming up, social media is up in arms over a supposed new tax on bank deposits at 20%, but the Finance Department has an explanation. That and more when the big story returns. You're watching The Big Story here on One News. Netizens were up in arms after banks implemented new rates, thinking their savings were being taxed under a new law. But the Finance Department is now clearing the air on what the Capital Markets Efficiency Promotion Act, or CIMEPA, really does. Signed in May and in effect this July, CIMEPA introduces tax reforms to boost investments, including slashing the stock transaction tax from 0.6 to 0.1%. But the buzz online came from a uniform 20% tax on interest income. The Finance Department has since issued a clarification saying the tax is not on actual savings but on the interest it earns. It also emphasized this is not a new tax but an existing one that has now been standardized under CIMEPA.
The law standardizes the tax rate on deposit interest to a flat 20% regardless of account type or holding period. Before CIMEPA, only short-term deposits were taxed at that rate, and long-term time deposits and foreign currency accounts used to be taxed less or not at all. Now, those exemptions are gone. The Finance Department said this corrects a system that favored high-income individuals who could afford to hold long-term deposits. RCBC Chief Economist Mike Ricafort says small savers would not feel much difference, but those with large time deposits or dollar accounts could take a hit. He advises looking into investment options or tax-free accounts like pera or personal equity and retirement account to offset the impact.
And to further explain this, we have with us Michael Ricafort, Chief Economist with RCBC. All right. Good evening. Welcome to the Big Story. Can you hear us?
Hi, good evening,
Hi.
Seth, Pauline, and your viewers. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, how can we calm down savers? What is what can we tell them that so that they can be assured that their savings are not at risk?
Yes, because this is something that has been existing for many, many years and decades. A 20% withholding tax on interest income earned on deposits. So not well, this has been there, no change under the SEMEPA law for peso denominated deposits. The only change is just on the tax exemption for time deposits that are longer, for instance, longer than 5 years. Those are tax exempt. So now they're now covered 20% withhold, and it usually cater to wealthier and more affluent people and customers.
Actually,
And
that's not what some...
the other change.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, and the change may be on dollar deposits, the FCDU deposits, because the withholding tax before July 1, because that was the effectivity date, July 1, prior to that it was 15% withholding tax on interest income on dollar deposits and other foreign currency deposits. Now, it's already the same as peso at 20%, and well, non-resident foreigners are still they would still enjoy the 15%. It's just the depositors for dollar deposits and other foreign currency deposits under the so-called FCDU deposits. So those are the changes, and it's really meant to help attract and at least maintain the large foreign FCDU deposits here in the Philippines relative to the other countries. But over the years, that has been increased also for FCDU deposits. Like for instance, in the late 1990s, it was increased from 7.5% to 10%, and then it was raised again to 15%. Now it's at from 15%, it would be raised to 20%. It's already the same as the withholding tax for peso deposits. So it's really meant, the law is really meant to simplify
the structure. Yes, but
taxation for bank deposits for passive income. So that's right.
But
so it's not but if you are to look. Yeah, go ahead, Mrs.
Yes, but it's not just the wealthy people who are hit, but I guess retirees, not even average earners. Yes. So how much is the government really supposed to raise from this measure?
Well, supposedly the estimate is around $25 billion by until 2030. That's the estimated additional revenue collections. But it's primarily targeted to the wealthier individuals. Depositors may also, for instance, or for FCDU deposits, there's that increase from 15% tax. Now it's 20%. So that would be an additional 5% tax on the interest that they other deposits and other foreign currency deposits for resident depositors, those here in the Philippines. So yeah, but then again, normally these are targeted to the higher income classes, the more affluent ones, and maybe some of those in the middle class. And well, essentially, uh, well, the essence really is to simplify everything. Even for, for instance, those that with previous exemptions, they may still continue. For instance, the so-called for the 5 year, for longer than 5 year time deposits, they're exempt from the 20% withholding tax. Those existing instruments are, the application of the law is prospective. It would only cover the new deposits, but the existing ones, they would still continue to enjoy, given the prospective nature of the SIMEPA law.
But Michael, what's the incentive now for people to invest in long-term time deposits, right?
And,
Because you removed the 20, you now have 20% on your time deposits, and it seems like you're penalizing long-term financial planning.
So how is it supposed to entice investors, actually?
Yeah, well, actually, that's also a consideration because, in the past, that is really meant to further, encourage long-term savings. However, if you look at the whole thing, yes, that's one for, there are other aspects of the SIMEPA law also that would also encourage in turn other forms of investment like in the stock market. Stock transaction tax has been reduced from 0.6 to 0.1. That's a savings outright of 0.5%. And this is based on the nominal amount, the actual transaction amount. And also for new shares, it says new issuances, there's a documentary stamp tax of 1%. So it's now reduced to 0.75. So there's a savings of 0.25. And on top, for new issuances, say new share sales, IPOs, follow-on offerings, etc. So new issuances, that would be a total savings of 0.5 for the stock transaction tax and another 0.25 for the documentary stamp tax. That's 0.75. The essence of the law there is to entice, especially large funds, to put more money into the country on the hope that it would increase liquidity and trading activities here in the country, especially foreign funds, narrowing the differential or the gap with other ASEAN and Asian markets and other countries around the world. So that's an outright savings of 0.75 from the point of view,
but the
say, for
reduction
foreign
is
investors.
smaller than the increase. The reduction in stock transaction tax is smaller than the increase in tax for long-term savings.
Well,
So are we saying
well,
that the
actually-
government wants the public to, I guess, put money more in the stock market, in the capital markets, rather than, the long-term savings?
Well,
They're
it's
safer,
really,
I
actually,
guess.
there are other, well, there are other, they're different. One is an investment product based on market forces, market prices. Of course, they do vary. Sometimes there's some market risk, of course, involved, uh, but also on the balance, there's also a prospect of higher returns, higher risk, higher return. Whereas for deposits, it's more guaranteed. No?
Yeah.
If it's guaranteed, it's kind of safe. So it's one way to also diversify and there are other options. For instance, like the PERA law. There are also some tax breaks there. That's an entirely different thing, no. But that has been there for quite some time already, for a number of years, and the take up is not yet that huge. And this is like similar to the 401k in the US that encourages savings for retirement, and there goes the tax exemptions there, some tax breaks there, to encourage also it's part of financial literacy actually, to
Yes,
diversify
that is needed,
people
though,
to save.
in a country where our population is, the savings rate is very low. Our people need more education in financial literacy, and then we have this regulation that somehow lessens the desire to put your money in a long-term safe savings account.
Well, yeah, it's really, so to speak, it's really putting, it's really the wealthier, the higher income brackets, the wealthier Filipinos, wealthier citizens, those who can afford to pay higher, while these simplifying the passive income, the so-called passive, the tax, the withholding tax for this passive income, to simplify it to just 20%. Because, the principles here, there's a need to also level the playing field. It should be fair, say, for both local and foreign investors, big and small investors alike. They should be taxed the same at 20% for as a matter of equity, principles of fairness. It's it's really an entirely different principle itself, while also simplifying it, and at the same time, because the claim here also, one of the premises is that the exemptions in the past may unduly favor the wealthier asset class. Because the taxation should be progressive in nature, meaning those who can afford it should be, there should be some fairness when it comes to taxation based on what they can afford to pay. It's an irony of sorts, actually, if you come to think of it, because
But at the same,
who are being subsidized? The wealthier asset classes, right? I know that it's understandable to develop long-term savings. There must be some form of incentive, but maybe at some point, this has been under review, this bill. Even prior to the pandemic, there have been consultations with the banking community, with the investment community. So this has been thought of for a very long time, to simplify taxation, to make it easier to implement, to level the playing field, and also to align with global best practices based on those principles. But true enough, in the past, there may be some forms of incentives, but those incentives are really tilted for the wealthier Filipinos, for the rich, rather than to the masses. So, it's really a delicate balancing act, so to speak, because, it's an existing subsidy that's tilted in favor of the wealthier the wealthier Filipinos rather than the masses. So it's a matter of principle, actually. And at the same time, it would indirectly also benefit make it more efficient, making more equitable the taxation system. Because
because
it's
Michael,
a
there are
delicate.
also a lot of Filipinos who invest in these long-term time deposits, and that's their income. They earn from that, right? Their goal in life is to, let's say, save 8 digits worth of savings and then earn from that interest. So right now, what would you advise Filipinos to do? Is it also diversifying into MP2 funds, which I believe is still tax-free?
Yeah, true. Actually, those are the other. There are alternatives. Yes, you going through other investment outlets. And that the MP2, the Pera, those under the Pera, that they have all the essence and principles of encouraging
All right. So you would
long-term savings
advise that.
for
You would
building
advise
retirement funds.
You would advise
Yeah.
that.
So so
Kasi
it's really a matter of
tinatamaan din ng middle class, whether you like it or not, di ba? We want an emerging middle class. They're not exactly that wealthy, but they're savvy maybe in investing their money or putting aside money for their retirement, and tinatamaan sila dito.
Yeah, true. It's really, this whole initiatives to also further develop the capital markets. If you look at the whole package, the different aspects, it's really meant, bottom line there, yes, to encourage people to save more, to invest more, build their retirement funds, build their wealth funds, financial literacy, make their money work better for them. And at the same time, something that's in an environment that's more conducive. Actually, especially those in the equities market. We have seen it to further boost the activities there, further boost the market, and hopefully it would all attract more both foreign and local funds, and bring more activities, and it's making more the deployment of capital into more productive uses, and everything is a win-win. The investors would earn more because investment is an entirely different thing. Investment it's based on market forces, no? And
All
the
right.
other one,
Well,
on the other side, the depositors with more guaranteed income.
we thank you for your time. You're doing a great job of being defending this for the government. We thank you so much, Michael Ricafort, Chief Economist with RCBC. And now moving on to another story, President Bongbong Marcos remains open to relevant suggestions from Vice President Sara Duterte if it will help the public. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro issued the statement after the office of the Vice President said Duterte is being kept out of the loop. Castro said that it was Sara who said she is not willing to help the government. Castro recalled Duterte's statement about having a formula to bring down rice prices, which he did not want to share with the Marcos administration.
Para po on the part of the palace, welcome po kung ano man po ang suwestyon na makabuluhan, magandang suwestyon na magmumula sa OVP. Hindi po ito tinatanggihan at hindi po sinasara ng Pangulo ang pintuan sa Vice Presidente. Lahat po ng maaari ang suhestyon na makabuluhan ay tatanggapin po yan kung ito naman po ay makakatulong sa taong bayan.
Castro was also asked about the Duterte bill that Senator Aimee-Marcos filed seeking to prevent extraordinary rendition as inspired by what happened to the former president. Castro's simple remark, good luck.
Trabaho naman po ng isang senador na gumawa ng makabuluhan na batas para sa taong bayan, sa ikauunlad ng bansa, hindi para sa pansariling kapakanan. So, good luck po.
Castro also neither confirmed nor denied Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin's statement that the government may arrest the other co-accused in the drug war case. That includes Senator Bato de la Rosa. Castro simply said that as of now, the government has not received any communication on the matter. The palace likewise announced the new chairperson of the Energy Regulatory Commission. Attorney Francis Saturnino I will replace Mona Lisa de Malanta starting August 8. Also named as new commissioners are lawyers Amante Liberato and Paris Real.
A seasoned energy expert, Attorney Juan brings with him decades of experience in regulatory affairs, having previously served as Executive Director and General Counsel of the ERC, and currently as President of the Independent Electricity Market Operator of the Philippines.
We're going to pause for another breather, but right after that, one foundation is building homes with alternative and locally grown materials. Let's talk about sustainable construction with social impact when the big story returns. Keep it here.
Welcome back to the big story. In many parts of the Philippines, a roof over your head doesn't sometimes guarantee safety. With typhoons, floods, earthquakes hitting us hard year after year, millions of Filipinos remain in homes that are one disaster away from collapsing. Since 2014, Base Bahay Foundation has been changing that story, building affordable, disaster-resilient, and sustainable homes designed to withstand the elements, even poverty. And they're doing it through innovative construction and community partnerships. Here we feature companies that put a spotlight on sustainable initiatives. Welcome to Sustainability. Every structure tells a story, and for Base, it's one of strength, stability, and sustainability. By using locally sourced materials and alternative building tech, they're making green construction accessible to communities that need it most. And it's all part of building a sustainable future today. And joining us are the Hilti Foundation Asia Liaison President Maricen Halandoni and Base General Manager Engineer Luis Felipe Lopez. Welcome both of you to the program.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
Ses.
for
Thank you,
having us.
Pauline,
Okay.
for having us.
Let me ask Luis first. You hail from Colombia.
Yes.
Why are you here in the Philippines? Is it because we have the best bamboo?
Yeah, you have a very good bamboo. And I always say that the best bamboo is the bamboo that you have around you. So that's the species that you need to use. And Philippines has one of the best bamboos, not only one. We have many species in the country, and that allows us to make very good projects.
Maricen, tell us how this initiative began.
So it began, as you mentioned earlier, in 2014. The Hilti Foundation, it's a foundation based in Liechtenstein. It's also a multinational group that does a lot of power tools. They really wanted to find an alternative building system that answers the need for social housing, but at the same time also looking into what's environmentally safe, what's environmentally friendly. So we started in 2014 and zeroed in on bamboo, it being a very renewable material, sustainable, and of course it grows really fast. It's a grass. So it's a really sustainable material. And then we brought Luis in, who happens to be really an expert in structural for bamboo. So he came to the Philippines and actually he was here very early on when we started research and development. So he's been here for, I think.
You call Philippines your home now?
Yeah, of course. After 11 years living here, it's my home.
You have a proprietorial design or technique combining bamboo with concrete.
Yes.
Yeah.
Luis, you're the engineer.
Yeah.
Explain it to us.
Our technology is called cement bamboo frame technology. It's a frame made of bamboo with a plaster on cement. And this combination makes the technology durable and also very strong. So the houses in the exterior look like a conventional concrete house, but the use of cement is minimum. So we use all the structure is made of bamboo.
So how much cement only?
Compared with a CHB house, maybe 10% of the cement that a CHB house would
is only what you use,
Yes.
10%. So you're also reducing your carbon footprint in construction.
Yeah, around 70% lower compared with concrete construction.
You know, I'm curious because high-tech, sustainable, and affordable are three terms that usually don't go together, especially affordable, right? So how do you keep your costs down? How do you make it affordable, Maricen?
Actually, it's not high-tech, no, Pauline. People try to think that if we put a lot of research and innovation, it's going to be very high-tech. But what we try to do is to make a technology or to create a technology that's very replicable. We build in a lot of rural areas as well as, of course, urban areas. And we make sure.
Sorry to interrupt, but maybe more high-tech than building a nipa hut.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Which is
more durable. Yeah. So these are all permanent housing that we build. So it's something that we actually, one of the key areas that we really operate in is to make sure that we can train people to use it. So it's not a technology that only we can build. It needs to be something that can be replicated elsewhere.
Because I understand your business model is having different construction facilities or bamboo
Supply facilities, yeah.
Okay, supply facilities
Yes.
in different parts of the country where people can put their money in and make it their business, right?
Yes, right now.
Like a cooperative, maybe?
Right now we're operating, well, we are not operating them. They're operated by different organizations. There are 9 coming from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Different models in each. The first one was actually put up by farmers.
I've seen Kawayan Collective.
Yes, Kawayan Collective in Dawin, in Negros Oriental. And they've expanded their business to even value-added products, also from bamboo. But they do, I think, a workers' cooperative for Kawayan Collective. But the first one was put up by farmers. So we train the farmers how to properly treat bamboo. And now, beyond farming, they're already supplying bamboo.
So now they're entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Farmer entrepreneurs.
Yes, they're now entrepreneurs. And they, we would like to encourage many of the facilities to now expand their business. Not just have base as their sole customer, but rather we help them also find, do other value-added services or value-added products.
I see. So in the beginning, base is the customer for the
Yes.
socialized housing that you do.
Yes.
How much is it? is one house?
Yeah, the direct cost of a house is around 350,000 pesos only. We're talking about 30 square meters. Direct cost, this is without profit, just materials and labor, and no land.
So how does a family avail of this socialized housing?
Okay.
Do you have partners?
Yes, we normally work with partners. We're a very small organization. We're very lean. So what makes it work is if we are able to work with different partners, whether it's the local government or other private institutions or other housing NGOs or foundations. And what we do is we transfer the technology, or we do what we call a knowledge transfer. So we do a lot of training of community workers.
Build yourselves.
We are not builders.
I
Rather, we
see.
enable people to build. So we do training.
I do understand that one project, one LGU partner is at the base of the Canlaon volcano. I think they're talking to you.
Yes.
These are those displaced by the eruption, right?
We're working actually in Negros Occidental. Several of the LGUs are very near Canlaon. We have projects that we're supporting in La Carlota, which is also very near the Canlaon. And there, normally we don't choose who lives in the houses. The future homeowners are vetted and really, they go through a strict process to make sure that they are the beneficiaries or the future homeowners that really need these homes. So we don't do the selection process. Normally our partners do that. They have social workers that are experts in that. We don't have that expertise.
Well, the Philippines is prone to disasters, and we are in the midst of typhoon season. And these houses are disaster resilient. Are we talking about resilient in terms of even if it's a typhoon, how strong can it withstand?
Yeah, so in BASE we also have a laboratory for research. We call it the BASE Innovation Center. It's located in Makati, and this is a very, very complete laboratory. We work with 6 local universities and 7 international universities. We receive students from all around the world that came to the Philippines to make their PhDs, master thesis and everything. So here in this laboratory, we are testing all the Philippine species and compression, tension. We test full-scale walls. Philippine bamboo.
It's really bamboo that's your material of choice.
Yes, absolutely, because it's the most sustainable material on Earth.
Okay.
So it's really a very fast-growing plant.
Yeah.
So as a grass, when you harvest it, you're not killing the whole plant. So it keeps on regenerating.
Yeah.
And we're always joking that in the Philippines we have a lazy species because it grows only up to 10 centimeters.
20
centimeters per day. So that's 20 centimeters every day and you'll see it grow. But there are species that grow
That's
a meter
lazy
a day.
pa?
Yeah, there's a species in India that grow as a meter per day.
Oh, in Colombia?
In India.
In India.
Yeah, in Colombia it's almost 20, it's the same. We are almost the same.
Okay.
Regarding the typhoon question, so in 2013, before even BASE exists, we did research in Bicol area. We built 3 model houses. We put instruments and we just tested with real typhoons. So in 2014, Typhoon Glenda hit those houses directly. And they survived. We were able to measure all the wind speed. It was 220 kilometers per hour. And after 13 years, those 3 houses have resisted more than 5 typhoons.
Wow. So you've been working with bamboo all your life?
For 25 years, yes. Oh, yeah, I actually...
You're the bamboo expert.
I am one of the bamboo experts, yes. I used to work in Colombia. I helped to write the building code in Colombia for bamboo, in Peru and Ecuador.
Okay,
And,
that opens the discussion to the building code. Recently, you partnered with the structural engineers of the association for the code.
Yeah.
But this code has to be passed into law, correct? Or
Yes.
Okay. So what are efforts toward doing this?
Yeah, we have been working with the Association of Structural Engineers for at least 3-4 years. We are very close with them. Okay. They create a committee for bamboo. They have a real interest to introduce sustainable materials into the National Building Code. You know that 38% of the carbon emissions is from the construction industry.
Right, yes.
So only bamboo and timber.
Up to 40.
Yeah, it's growing like crazy every year. So only bamboo and timber can help us to reduce that.
Yeah.
So I think the Association of Structural Engineers is conscious about that. They are working, and even also in the political side, there is a congressman that are supporting this
He
idea.
will be our guest here soon.
Okay.
Congressman Alba.
Yeah, he's our
Yeah.
champion.
Yeah.
So he's working on this. We are working with them. The document is very advanced, but they still need to pass more rounds of.
You know, one thing that struck me, I attended that session. There was, I think, a European, I think she was British, who said that in Europe, they want bamboo houses. In the Philippines, we want European-style houses. In Europe, there's no bamboo. They like they want bamboo houses. But the Philippines, so much bamboo, we like European style. So how can you convince Filipinos? I think there's still a resistance to bamboo na it's probably not durable, cheap look. I don't know, for poor people.
So that's actually what we're trying to change. No?
Yeah.
The irony is, as you said, we want European-looking houses, and the Europeans like bamboo houses. So for us, what we'd like to do is marry both. We are now building bamboo houses that...
Na European style.
Well, not European style, but a lot of people have aspirational houses, especially those who need the houses the most. No? They're aspiring for a house that looks like something they see on brochures or on TV.
Na may concrete
That
looking.
make concrete. But at
Maybe they don't feel safe if it's not concrete. Ano?
So that's what we're trying to change. So a lot of our training shows them how strong the bamboo is. And that's why we established what we call the Base Innovation Center, which is where Luis does a lot of the research and innovation. So this is all science-based. This is all research-based, but applied research. So we test different species of bamboo. We test wall systems.
Because it's also how you process it, right?
Yes.
That's where the strength will come out. So, Luis, what can you tell us Filipinos? How strong is bamboo?
Oh, bamboo is.
Is it stronger than steel?
I mean, you can compare materials between them, but I mean, steel is stronger. But the ratio between weight, cost, and resistance, bamboo is the champion.
I thought it's twice stronger than steel.
No,
That's
it's
not correct.
partially true. It's the fiber of the bamboo. The fiber itself, if you isolate the fiber, is stronger than the steel. But the material, all the material together
if
is
it's
not.
a pole.
Yeah, it's not because there is other components there. So that's a myth that has been created, but it's super strong. It's as strong as concrete. It's very flexible. It's a very good material.
Maybe you can explain what we're seeing here on the video. Is this some of the testing that
That's
you're doing?
part of our laboratory. This is a project in Batangas. Here we are seeing some of the prefabrication process, how we train the workers. Our houses are prefabricated, and we can build a house in just 5 weeks.
5 weeks?
Yes.
Well, what about when it comes to maintenance? Is it hard to maintain bamboo because steel is corrosive and it's one of the biggest challenges? What about bamboo?
Bamboo, if it's well treated, don't require any maintenance. And then if the exterior of the house is protected against rain and UV radiation, you're fine for the first 15 to 20 years.
Because bamboo here is used indoors,
Indoors.
not outside.
Yeah, not outside.
It's a different story if it's exposed to the elements.
Yeah, if it's exposed to the elements, you need to do a lot of maintenance. So every year almost.
Are you also exploring other sustainable materials, or are you just focused on bamboo?
Our main material is bamboo, of course, but we are exploring more materials. So like from soil, from hemp, from timber.
Yeah. So while we right now focus solely, well, not solely on bamboo, but maybe 90% of our efforts are in bamboo, we are open to take a look at other materials that are green as well. So as Luis mentioned, there's earth, there's coconut, so there are different renewable material as well, or even recyclable material.
Yeah.
So material
Plastic, no?
It depends
Recycled
on
plastic. You have a very how is it? You're not fond of that material?
I'm not fan of plastics, and the reason is because I am more into the renewable materials.
The natural.
Yeah, natural.
I also heard an architect saying it's different when you're surrounded by natural materials when you're living in your home.
Yes.
It's being inside a house that is made of bamboo or wood, you can smell the material, and it smells good. You feel
smells like
it's
nature.
warm.
At the same time, it's also lower in indoor temperature. So we actually also do studies to test indoor temperature, and because it's a natural material, it doesn't absorb as much heat. And then heat dissipates faster. So in the evening, your house is cool faster than if you had a lot of steel in it.
Tell us how you process it to make it more durable, because that is the issue with bamboo. Like the insects come and they deteriorate.
We know that the Gov't and I are the main enemies of our bamboos. So we invest in research. So we treat the bamboos. We remove the starch first with water, just running water. And then after that we apply, because Gov't loves the starch. So we remove the starch. But an eye doesn't care about the starch. They like cellulose. So we put some solutions, chemicals, to protect against these insects. And the bamboos can last, I will say, forever.
Forever?
So
with
it's
this process.
it's about 9-step. Yes, it's a 9-step process that we've worked with different experts that are really taking a look at how to treat with different chemicals, as well as the timing, because that's all very important. How much time you put it into the chemical, how much time you dry it. So this is all knowledge that's also transferred to the supply facilities. So we work very closely with them. But like we said, we would like to help in developing the whole value chain, but we don't run it. There are other groups that run it and also run it as a livelihood.
You enable them.
You enable the different organizations, and they in turn work with communities as well. So
This has been so engaging. In closing, quick parting shot, Luis?
Sorry.
A quick message.
Yeah,
perhaps,
I will say
you
that
want our viewers to take away.
Taking some of your words, that the bamboo is not for poor people, it's not for rich people, it's a material for human beings. And it's as good as any other material. We just need to do it with technology.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, and I hope you've inspired builders, the construction industry as well. Pawi also,
Yes.
looking to build
My own home, why not, right?
thank you for
very
having
much
us.
for having us. Yes.
Thank you. That was Hilti Foundation Asia Liaison President Maricen Halandoni and Base General Manager Engineer Luis Felipe Lopez.
Right, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching The Big Story. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
And we'll be back here tomorrow at 7:30. Thank you for watching and have a good night, everyone.